Start Gamers, welcome to episode 4 of this series where we review random games, tell you a bit about them and give you our honest opinions. I'm Danny and today we'll be taking a look at Cool Spot on the Mega Drive. Cool Spot was developed and published by Virgin Games and was programmed by the legendary developer David Perry. Released in 1993 in both Europe and North America, you play as the titular character Cool Spot. The aim of the game is to find enough spots throughout each level to free your friend from the cage and go on to the next stage. Now with this being a platformer, Cool Spot can jump, and he attacks using bubbles which can be thrown in all directions. Spot can also grab onto and climb various things throughout the game. Unfortunately, the game has no save feature at all, which can be problematic, as this game can get quite tough. Luckily enough, there are checkpoints in each level to make things a little easier. When I was a young lad, I was obsessed with my Mega Drive, and Cool Spot was one of my favourites. I used to fire this baby up often, and I always had a blast freeing my buddy from their cages. Spot controls well, even if the controls are slightly on the floaty side. It really can be a lot of fun traversing the levels, which feature some very good level design. Some of the levels can feel a little maze-like, which could be frustrating, but the game constantly reminds you where to go, as every now and then a little hand will pop up showing you where to go. Graphically, this game was very impressive back in 1993 when it first came out, and honestly, it has stood the test of time and I think it still looks gorgeous. The animation on Spot is good, as well as on a lot of the enemies. One thing that impressed me the most is the scrolling backgrounds, especially in the marina level, where you can see a boat bobbing up and down, and in the train level where blast processing is definitely on show. Finally, I want to talk about the music. While not a perfect soundtrack, there are one or two tracks that I think are great. Which isn't a surprise when you find out the whole soundtrack was done by Tommy Tallarico, who was responsible for the Aladdin and Terminator soundtracks, which were both very impressive. The game was initially ported to the SNES in the same year. It was then given ports to the Master System, Game Gear, Game Boy, Amiga and MS-DOS. Cool Spot received a sequel in 1995, Spot Goes to Hollywood, which would change the formula completely, ditching the 2D side-scrolling platforming which made this one so good, and instead deciding to make an isometric platformer which suffered from poor controls. Maybe we'll get to that one day. Overall, I would definitely consider this to be truly one of my favourite games on the Mega Drive, and I'm glad to see that it has stood the test of time. Well, we hope you enjoyed this review of Cool Spot on the Mega Drive. What did you think of the game? I've been Danny from Press Start Gaming, and as always, see you next time.